is dead. And let's see, what else? Oh, they proved that she was a very good, devoted, and loving mother from every witness that took to stand in that regard. So all of the 366, if that's the right number, documents of evidence in here show a myriad of things to talk about. Was there chloroform used or not used? Well, all the experts say no, there may have been chloroform in the trunk of the car. So what? Decomposition or other. So what? There may be, there was duct tape found near the body and or maybe adhered to part of the hair mass on the right side of the skull when found. No DNA to link it to anybody, excluding, in fact, the DNA excludes that it was the defendant. It excludes that entirely. There's no evidence that the duct tape was placed on this child's face at all, and if so, prior to death. There's no evidence that the child died from any chloroform poisoning. That's just all been a media hype for 3 years. And I urge you, in considering these things, think about this. Without going all the Fry hearing stuff, you know, that'll make good reading for somebody someday. The fact of the matter is that Dr. Sigmund took the air from the trunk of the car, got 2 Tedlar bags, sent one to Dr. Baez, and took one for himself. And his primary ingredient was gasoline with a trace of chloroform. And Body Farm Dr. Voss, chemist Dr. Wise, said that the biggest spike they had was chloroform, but no quantitative analysis. So the whole thing is just a bunch of confusion. Was there a chloroform in the trunk? Maybe. In amount, no different from the atmosphere. Was there evidence that the child was killed by it? No. Is there speculation? Yes. So if you separate the facts from fiction and inferences being stacked on inferences, this is really not something that should result in guessing by a jury. They shouldn't be burdened to have to guess something like this. You can take the burden. You're used to it. That's your job. And your burden, I suggest respectfully, is to say you're right. This does require inference on inference, guessing, speculation. But there is no proof as to when, who, and how the child died. And I urge you to enter a judgment of acquittal as to counts 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, Mr. Mason. State response?
Just briefly, Your Honor, Mr. Mason is arguing factual matters that are more properly resolved by a jury, and it is our position that the jury should be the body that makes the decision as to what is indeed fact and what is fiction. As a legal matter, as argued at the close of the state's evidence, there is sufficient evidence to go to the jury on each of the charges as charged, and we would urge the court to deny the judgment of acquittal on that basis. The defense during their case having presented no new hypothesis of innocence.
Anything else, Mr. Mason? Renewed motion for judgment of acquittal will be denied. Okay, what time do y'all want to meet on Sunday?
The court suggests 8:30 to finalize jury instructions. That'll be fine. We'll have a telephone conference at noon tomorrow. Good for everybody?
After you get up?
Does that mean I can sleep till 11:55? That's pretty good.
We'll get the card as much as we can work out amongst ourselves with your standards and aspire to sparing against all the ones out there.
Mr. Mason, you need to turn on the microphone.
This one, right?
Go ahead.
We're going to be able, I think, to work out just about all that we will need your intervention as to the theory of defense instruction and maybe one special. Mr. Ashton indicated he was writing, going to do some special, but the rest of it, I am certain that we will go through the myriad of standards. We've been working on that. I'm sure that the same is yours.
Based on Arizona versus Shad, and that concept, and I'll send it to you first thing tomorrow morning around 10. I guess that's not really first thing, but, and we can discuss it at noon.
Do y'all remember the murder of Judge Chillingsworth?
Yes, I do.
Did they ever?
Absolutely.
Huh? Did they ever find his body?
Fishing trip.
Did they ever find his body, Mr. Mason?
No, they never found his body, but they found blood all in the back of the boat. Now, this is going back a long time. This is back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
they
went
had
fishing
witnesses
and
of
then
him
come
going
back.
out fishing and not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Travesty of Justice.
Okay. All right. Court will be in recess.
It's over.